What's going on, everybody? My name is Echo Codex and welcome back to the channel. Now, the Dazzler Apex Coliseum has been out for a little bit now. I kind of just wanted to walk through how to do this fight. So the main threat of this fight is the inside out node, which basically you see right here. I got rooted. If you're away from Dazzler or if you're too close to Dazzler for too long, she is going to root you and she's going to apply special lock, so you can't just instantly clear that root. What that means is that you're going to have to deal with the Dazzling Dash ability in Dazzler's base kit, which basically every 10 hits when she dashes at you, she's going to put a falter debuff on you, or if she hits your block, she's going to put a stun passive on you. So champions that can counter and miss do really well here because you don't really have to deal with the Dazzling Dash, or champions that any champion really can just deal with the Dazzling Dash by avoiding that first medium. You also have the stun immunity on the first medium or light, which go on cooldown. You see I just parried there, she didn't get stunned, but that stun passive cooldown is there, so now I can stun her. Getting a little bit here. But basically, the premise of this fight is you gotta weave in and out over time. You know, you want to do like 4 or 5 hits and then dash out to make sure that you don't get rooted, and always make sure to bait out Dazzler's SP1, because the SP2 does a lot of damage in the block, and more than likely, if she's ramped up, that SP2 is just gonna one-shot you. So you really just gotta bait out the SP1s and dodge those. And you see here I chose Jack. He's just really good for mutants in general. He's doing a lot of damage with those SP2s, but more importantly, the two things that I find that Jack does really well is that he's got that block proficiency on his SP, or when the opponent uses special attacks, so he can tank a little bit of damage even if I do push her to the SP2. And number 2 is that he puts that cowardice debuff on her, which is really important because a lot of the threat from her SP2 gets neutralized if she has a cowardice debuff on her. None of the buffs will trigger, you don't get the trauma or the reverb, so I can definitely take an SP2 into the block with Jack here just because he can apply that cowardice so easily. So I'm making sure that that's constantly up on her. But the loop is really simple. You know, with Jack here, we just want to go for the SP2s and bait out Dazzler's SP1. It can just be a little frustrating sometimes if the AI isn't playing ball with you and she's not throwing her SP1. But here we're just going to be continuing that cycle, just trying to bait out this SP1. And we kind of want to ramp Jack up a little bit, get those inflame charges so we can crit more and apply the plasma onto her. So we do that here, we have cancel into SP1. She's about to go for her SP1 here. We're going to try and bait that out. Bait that out and go back in. And you see here we're constantly weaving in and out. We've got the root timer on us, so we don't want to get rooted because we will also get special locked, and there's a good chance we take a huge chunk of damage if that happens. So now launching the SP2, some big damage from the poisons and the plasmas. Now we're going to be taking an SP2 into the block, but you see she doesn't gain any of her buffs, and we got the block proficiency buff on us, so it's unlikely that we're going to be taking a lot of damage. You see there we only took like a couple %. Now every few seconds we're going to want to try and weave in those heavy attack or striker attacks. The timer is pretty generous here, but with her being stun immune on her first medium and light, it can be a little problematic to weave in there, but I do find that you can heavy counter her SP1 pretty easily if you get the timing right. And the spacing. The spacing can be a little bit weird because that beam is a little bit deceptive in how far it actually goes. So here baiting out another SP1, heavy countering, getting rid of that timer. She goes for another SP1. We're going to go back in, and the striker will also work for this, so for the timer specifically. She goes for an SP1, we try and heavy counter, we miss, and we go in with a striker. She dodges that. Parry here, heavy attack to get rid of the timer. Parry, and then we're going to be going for an SP2 pretty soon. Put on the plasma, make sure that cowardice is up because we push her the SP2, but it's going to do no damage because that cowardice is up and she doesn't get any of her buffs. Go back in, bait the SP1. She has that dash and dash active. I tried to heavy cancel an SP1 there, but I kind of failed. Go for a heavy counter there. Another 5-hit combo. Dash out. Bait out this SP1 if we can. heavy counter, get rid of the timer. And now normally Dazzler, once she reaches 100 tempo, she won't be getting any more dazzling dash charges, but in this fight specifically, she will be getting it every 10 hits, so that is something to know is a little bit different from the base Dazzler. Go for the SP1 here. Try and bait out this SP1 from Dazzler. She is not playing ball at all. Heavy counter. Yeah, the heavy spacing is a little bit weird, but I always try and do it when I have my relic active, so that if I do end up failing my heavy attack for whatever reason, I can just cancel into striker and still get that prompt off without taking hits to the face. Parry heavy. Doing a lot of damage now with the flame charges at 14. Go back in. I do have that timer to worry about at the moment, but I have the cowardice debuff on her, so I can push her SP2 at this point. Try and go for a heavy attack. I miss, take a few hits to the face. Go back in, gonna launch the SP2, or the striker to SP2. Barely got that timer off, by the way. Heavy counter here. She has the dash active. Trying to bait this SP1. Parry heavy there to get rid of the timer. Cowardice is on, so I have no problems taking this into the block. She is starting to do a little bit of damage though. She is ramped up at 9 bars already. And that cowardice is like 30 seconds or something, so if I can get one fourth light hit in every now and then, you know, it should be good to bait out 1 or 2 SP2s. Go for the SP2 myself here, put the plasmas and the poisons on. This is doing quite a bit of damage. It's basically, you know, like 70% of a bar per SP2 I'm launching. Put the cowardice back on, push her to an SP2, take this into the block. These are really starting to hurt now, so I don't really want to be baiting anymore, even with the cowardice on. Try to bait out the SP1 here. Go for another heavy counter. Trying to bait out an SP1. And with the power gain going up, it's becoming, I'm losing patience, I guess, because I'm constantly having to bait SP1s after like every heavy attack, every few hits. Go back in. The cowardice on. And here I just completely mess up the spacing. Dazzler hits us with the SP1 and we get a little bit wrecked. Now we have my favorite counter, which is Jean Grey. So starting off here, putting on those Neuro Shocks. With the Neuroshock active, Jean can't miss, so you really take out the biggest threat of this fight, which are the Dazzling Dashes. Now I can just keep going in, try to intercept her when she has the Dazzling Dash active, and I can still hit her. Putting on those passive Neuroshocks and with Jean's SIG ability, those are going to be lasting like an additional 7 or 8 seconds. So I got really good uptime on that, and each of her light attacks is going to be putting on Neuroshocks as well, so I should have near constant uptime on my miscounter here, now that we've landed our first combo. Still have to worry about the inside out node and the root. So still want to vary my combo. I'm at 7 charges. Go for an SP2. Little known fact about Jean Grey is that the more Neuroshocks that are active on the opponent, the stronger her SP2 is. So you ideally want to go for SP1, SP2 rotation. And SP1s work really well in this fight because that's where you're getting the passive Neuroshocks from, with a lot longer duration, so you got that miscounter active for a lot longer. So now here, just trying to bait out that SP1. She is not playing ball. But unlike Jack, we really don't want to push her to the SP2 because we have no cowardice debuff or passive on her, so she's going to gain all of her buffs, and that one SP2 is pretty much going to take most of my HP bar, unless I have my force field active and it's kind of early on. Then maybe I can survive an SP2 if I dodge the first few hits. But once she ramps up a little bit to like 7 or 8 bars, one SP2 is pretty much going to wipe my HP, so go for a heavy counter there. bait out the SP1, go for another heavy counter, reduce my power cost. I go for a parry there while she has the Dazzling Dash active, then go for a big SP2. And yeah, one thing that I found is that if you do accidentally parry her while she has the Dazzling Dash active, as long as you land the parry, the stun timers are about the same, so there's a good chance you can recover. It's not guaranteed though. It's like a 50-50. So if you're going to get hit by Dazzling Dash, you definitely don't want to just take the falter though, because you're definitely going to get hit by that if you don't have a miscounter. She's got 14 Neuro Shocks on her now. Pretty good duration. Bait out another SP1, go for a heavy counter, reduce my power cost, land a parry, go for another heavy counter, looking to bait out this SP1 and then probably go for an SP2 here, bait out the SP1, go in for an SP2. Now she's at the 5 bars, so we're going to have to start weaving in our heavy counters and striker. Bait out the SP1, block the last hit there. That is another trick you can use to get those heavy counters in more consistently, is just block the last hit of the SP1 and then heavy counter. But you will be taking a little bit of damage that will ramp up as she gets to like 8 or 9 bars. Just flowing through this fight, getting into a good rhythm here, going for more SP1s. I want to use an SP1 here to refresh those Neuro Shocks, put more on and make them passive with more duration. As long as we have those Neuro Shocks up, we take out the biggest threat of this fight, which is that we're accidentally going to get faltered and take a bunch of hits to the face. The only thing we really got to worry about now is the root, and as long as I can vary my combo and manage the spacing well, we should be good with that. Go for another heavy attack there. Parry into full combo. Trying to bait out this SP1 and then probably launch our SP2 with Striker. But yeah, Dazzler really does not want to play ball a lot of these times. Go in for the SP2. I gotta land a heavy attack or a Striker hit really soon here. Go for the heavy counter, reset the timer. She's got 2 Neuro Shocks on her now, so I really want to rush up to my SP1 and put on those passive Neuro Shocks. So now she's got 14 Neuro Shocks on her. Still got plenty of time left on my prompt. Go for the heavy counter. Bait out another SP1. Go for a full 5 hit into Striker. Reset the prompt. Go for a heavy counter here. We got a little bit lucky with that one. Yeah, the name of the game is really baiting out these SP1s, and Dazzler, her AI just does not want to throw them. I think she does have SP2 bias on this fight, but you really want to just bait out the SP1s. Big SP2 from Jeed, by the way, down to 8 bars. Heavy counter. Bait out the SP1, heavy counter. Again, she's got those Neuro Shocks on her. We want to go for the SP1 here pretty soon to put the passives on. Heavy counter into SP1. Put the increased durations on so we don't have to worry about the miss. Heavy counter here. Dodge the Dazzling Dash into parry. Bait out the SP1. Heavy counter. Get those uncanny charges up. Heavy counter. We're at 8 psionic charges now, so we should be landing a pretty big SP2 here. Almost pushed her to 2 bars of power. That would not have been good for us. We would have taken a lot of damage in the block there. Oh, and actually we probably would have just died because Dazzler goes unblockable on her SP2 without that cowardice, so yeah, that's another thing. You can't just take the SP2 into the block unless she has a cowardice. She will be unblockable and you will probably just be dead. Go for the SP1, put the passive Neuro Shocks on. Dodge the SP1 here, go for heavy counter. Take a few hits to the face, totally cool. Dodge the SP1 into heavy counter, and Jean's heavy range is really large. Unlike Jack, which is deceptively small, Jean's heavy range is very large, so I feel comfortable with the spacing on Jean's much more than Jack because I can just dash back a little bit further and still reach Dazzler with my heavy attack there. Big SP2 from Jean. Heavy counter here again. Trying to bait out this SP1. Take a hit into the face. Heavy attack there. And take a full combo to die. So yeah, overall, that is the Dazzler fight. You definitely can do it better. There's definitely room for improvement. Both of those champs can easily get, 15 bars, I would imagine. Hopefully your runs went better than this, but if this did help you and you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the good buttons, and I will see you in the next one.